a new announcement out of Social Security, also the discussion that happened today on another stimulus package, and a new report just released showing poverty in 2022. Let's quickly talk about the news report. Now, this on a global basis, so everybody around the entire world now, they're actually suggesting that there are billions of people living in poverty, and by the end of 2022, in a matter of just months, we are going to have 860 million people falling into poverty by the end of this year. So, in some instances here, they're actually talking about people living in extreme poverty, therefore living on under $1 every single day. There are that many people living in that situation. Now, they've actually proposed a few different things. How they can actually get ahead of this. So, here's what they're introducing. Any millionaires out there would be looking at an annualized 2% tax on their wealth. At the same time that millionaires would be looking at a 5% tax annualized on their net worth. Now, this actually expected to generate $8.62 trillion every year and leave over a billion people out of poverty. And that's a lot of people to be left out of poverty. So basically, what they want to do is they want to tax those people who have a little bit more money right now. But anyway, they want to have these people pay anywhere between a 2% and a 5% tax every single year based on their net worth. We saw a proposal come out of the United States just a couple of months ago. This is on a global basis. There are not that many billionaires, there are just a handful of billionaires. It could generate significant tax revenues. But the deal is that will be on a global basis where there are 1,000 billionaires. So there will be a lot of money, $2.5 trillion or a little bit more than every single year in tax revenue. There are a lot of people right here in this community living on a small fixed income. It's getting tough out there, especially with these rapidly rising inflation prices and just literally everything going on right now. So remember, a handful of months ago, at the end of last year, there was the Build Back Better agenda that they were talking about since April of last year. The president came out and introduced the Build Back Better agenda. Now, they worked for the entire year of the last year 2021. They worked slowly, but it took them a very long time to actually bring that bill together. Well, shortly thereafter, right before Christmas, Joe Manchin came out and basically said, I can't do this bill. It was $1.75 trillion at the time, and there was a $2.2 trillion bill that had gone through the House. However, this whole thing has essentially been on ice ever since then. There was some discussion today saying that the Democrats need to work on this bill and they need to bring it to the floor sometime within the next 2 months. Bring it to the floor in the House and the Senate and actually get passed within the next few months. Now, some Democrats are coming out and saying that if they do not get it done within the next 2 months or so, that's basically it for the Democratic Party going into the midterm elections. It's not a political statement. They're basically saying we've got a 2-month timeline right now. If we are gonna get something done, we've got to get it done in 2 months. Otherwise, we can basically kiss the midterm elections because you know the time will essentially be run out by that time. It essentially comes down to Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to see if they actually get another package through and what is actually going to contain. The other Democrats out there are pretty much on board for essentially anything, but it ups to those too. According to what the other Democrats in the party are saying, it ups to Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to see what they will allow through because there are 2 very important votes in the Senate. They need all 50 votes in order to get this reconciliation bill through. And without those 2 votes, well, they're not gonna get anything done. Now, for a few months now, they've been talking about a scaled-down Build Back Better agenda, but honestly, they haven't really done a whole lot within it. There's been a lot of talk, and there's been a lot of behind-the-door meetings, things like this. I have not found anything substantial. Also, let's talk about another announcement that just came out of the Social Security Administration. Last week, on Thursday, the Social Security field offices reopened after 2 years of not being open. So, like 2 years ago, they closed up these field offices. Anyway, going into the opening of these field offices, well, the latest report coming out of these field offices are: we are being absolutely inundated. We have an influx of people. We are way understaffed and do not have enough people going out or helping all of these clients and all the people that need assistance right now. There's a huge backlog of people waiting. So essentially what they are doing is they are urging people to please make appointments and call ahead. However, we also recognize that at the same time, some of us do need to go to the field offices. I think many of us here in the community has been to the field offices for Social Security. It is not a fun experience, so essentially, they're asking everybody, please call and make an appointment, or if you can call 1-800 instead and try to get everything done through that way. Over the last year, they've had 1,051 million calls into 1-800 number. However, only about 50% have actually been answered, and at that point, 60 million of those people that were waiting in the queue dropped the call. So they basically just abandoned. But anyway, they said that those people out of the 75 million or so calls that were actually answered out of the 1,501 million calls that were made, about 60 million. That's about twice as many total beneficiaries that receive benefits. So it's essentially like all of us calling Social Security twice each year, which realistically probably isn't all that of. There was another announcement out of the administration earlier, as well as the big announcement on the inflation data that came out early this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and oh wow! 8.5% on an annual basis, or 1.2% over month. That's huge. It's massive. It's colossal. It's giant. Scene is pretty big stuff.